They tell you, when you're young, that time is a thief. They're wrong. Time isn't a thief. Time is a builder. It lays down bricks. One day, one morning, one cup of coffee at a time. And before you know it, you're standing in a house you didn't know you were building. I'm sitting here in this chair. The wood is gray. It groans every time I shift my weight. I keep saying I'll buy a new one. I keep saying I'll go down to the hardware store and get something with cushions. But I don't, because this chair knows my shape. It knows the way I lean when my back hurts. And you're lying there, near my boots. Your fur used to be the color of a new penny. Now, it's like the frost that won't melt off the grass in January. 15 years. They say one dog year is 7 of ours. If that's true, you're 105. You're older than the trees I planted when we moved in. You're older than my memories of being a young man. You don't chase the birds anymore. A crow landed right there, 6 feet from your nose, this morning. You just blinked. You just watched him. Like you've reached a point where you don't need to prove you're the boss of the yard anymore. You just breathe. Like you're counting the seconds until the sun goes down. I remember the day I found you. I don't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday, but I remember Route 9, August 2011. The heat was so thick you could chew it. I was driving that old blue Silverado, the one with the rusted-out wheel wells. I'd just finished a 12-hour shift at the mill. My hands were covered in grease. My head was full of noise. I was in a bad place, buddy. I haven't told many people that. I was hollow. I was driving home to an empty house. My wife had been gone 2 years by then. The silence in that house was so loud it made my ears ring. Then I saw you, just past the old Texaco, the one they tore down to build the bypass. You were a speck of nothing. I thought you were a piece of tire tread, a road gator we call them. But then, that piece of tire tread stood up on 4 shaky legs. I slammed on the brakes. The truck behind me blared his horn. He swerved. He yelled something I couldn't hear. I didn't care. I pulled onto the shoulder. The dust kicked up in a big brown cloud. I walked back, and there you were. You were so small, I could have put you in my lunchbox. You were dirty. You had burrs stuck in your ears. Your ribs were sticking out like a picket fence. I crouched down. My knees popped. They did that even back then. I said, "Hey, buddy, you lost?" Most dogs, they'd run. They bark. They'd be terrified of a big sweaty man in work boots. But you just sat down. You looked me right in the eye. It wasn't a look of fear. It was a look of recognition. Like you'd been waiting for the 5:15 shift to end, like you'd been checking your watch for me. I picked you up. You didn't weigh more than a bag of flour. I tucked you inside my jacket, right against my chest. I could feel your heart. Thump, thump. Thump, thump. It was fast, like a little bird trapped in a cage. I remember looking at the road, looking at the empty passenger seat, and saying out loud, "Well, I guess the silence is over." Lord, you were a terror for those first 2 years. Remember the boots? My good leather work boots. I came home and found the left one turned into a pile of confetti in the hallway. I should have been mad. I should have put you in the yard. But you just sat there with a piece of the tongue hanging out of your mouth, wagging your tail so hard your whole back end was shaking. I couldn't stay mad. I hadn't laughed in 2 years. Not a real laugh, not a belly laugh. But seeing you look so proud of destroying $50 worth of leather, I just sat on the floor and roared. We grew up together. I know I was already an old man to some, but you made me young. We spent every Saturday in the woods. Remember Blackwood Ridge? You'd be up that trail before I could even get my pack on. You'd stop at every bend, looking back at me, waiting. Come on, old man, those eyes would say. The world's bigger than your living room. You chased everything. Squirrels, rabbits, your own shadow. One time, remember that skunk? Oh, Lord, you thought it was a cat with a stripe. I had to wash you in tomato juice for 3 days. You smelled like a bad spaghetti dinner. You hated it. You looked at me like I was the one who sprayed you. But it was more than just the fun. It was the consistency. The world changed. The mill closed down. I lost my pension. My sister got sick. The world was shaking. It felt like the ground under my feet was turning to sand. But every time I walked through that front door, there you were. Same wag, same cold nose, same where have you been? Look, you were the only thing that didn't change. You were my anchor. When the house felt too big and the nights felt too long, I'd hear your paws clicking on the hardwood. Click, 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 and I'd know I wasn't alone. I haven't been alone for 15 years. Then, the clock started to slow down. It's a cruel thing, isn't it, that we get so much time and they get so little. I remember the first morning you didn't jump on the bed. I woke up. I waited for that heavy thump of you landing next to my feet. It didn't come. I looked over the edge. You were standing there. Your front paws were on the mattress, but your back legs, they were shaking. You looked up at me, and for the first time, I saw the age in your eyes. I saw the cloudiness, the blue of the years. I didn't say anything. I just reached down. I put my arms under your belly. You were a lot heavier then, and I lifted you up. You licked my ear. We stayed like that for a long time. I realized then that the seasons were shifting. Then came the vet visits, the white rooms, the smell of floor cleaner. I hated seeing you on that table. You look so small again, like the puppy on Route 9. The doctor would use big words. Arthritis, cognitive decline, heart murmur. I'd just nod. I didn't need the words. I could see it in the way you walked, in the way you'd go to the wrong door sometimes, in the way you'd stare at a wall lost in a memory I couldn't see. I started helping you. I built that ramp for the back porch. I started softening your food with warm water. I'd sit with you in the middle of the night when you get confused and start to whine. I'd put my hand on your head and say, I'm right here. I'm right here, buddy. We're just sitting in the dark. It's okay. And you know what the crazy part is? You were still helping me. My hands, they shake now. See? Of hands rubbing together. My memory isn't what it was. I forget my keys. I forget why I walked into a room. But I never forget you. You give me a reason to get up. I have to feed you. I have to let you out. I have to make sure you're comfortable. If it weren't for you, I think I'd just stay in bed. I think I'd let the dust settle on me until I became part of the furniture. You're keeping me tethered to the earth, even now, even when you're tired. The sun's almost gone now. The sky is that color, that deep bruised purple. The garden is quiet. I look at you lying there. 15 years. That's 5,475 days. That's a lot of mornings. A lot of bowls of water. A lot of good boys. I know what's coming. I'm not a fool. I've lived long enough to know how the story ends. I know that one of these days, I'm going to call your name, and you aren't going to lift your head. I know I'm going to have to walk back into that house alone. I know the silence is coming back, but I want you to know something. Before the light goes out, you didn't just walk with me. You saved me. You were there when I was strong, and you were there when I was breaking. You didn't care about the money I didn't have. You didn't care about the mistakes I made. To you, I was always the man who pulled over on Route 9. I was always the hero of the story. I reached down. I put my hand on your side. I can feel your ribs. I can feel your heart. Thump, thump, thump. It's slower now, like an old clock that's forgotten to be wound, but it's still beating. You sigh, that deep rattled sigh. You lean your head against my boot, and for a second, just a second, the years disappear. It's 2011 again. The sun is hot. The truck is idling, and I'm picking you up for the very first time. Stay as long as you want, buddy. I ain't going nowhere.